Let me introduce myself. Real quick here. My name is Brendan Horn. I am president of the Palm Beach County Beekeepers Association. I am a beekeeper. It's a hobby. It's not what I do for a living, but I keep around 20 hives, and I sell the honey out of them. I've been doing it for a little over 5 years, and I enjoy it. I have a lot of fun with it. I've dealt with the K through 2 guys and the 3 through 6, 3 through 5 grades earlier. You guys are middle school. We're going to get past a lot of the cartoony stuff I deal with the kids and go into some of the hardcore stuff here. So it's not necessarily as exciting in the comical sense as it is for the little kids, but we're not little kids. But we are going to deal with some things to try and make it as fun as possible. Basic setup. What is the picture? What's a bee. Good. Don't rush to give the answers here, guys. It's not like this is, going to be on your final grade. Well, maybe not.
The 6th, 7th already took a test.
Already took a test. You guys should have this down to All right, so let's do it again. What is this?
Bee.
Oh, bee. Okay, good. There's hope. All right. Bees are insects. Why? Hands up. Yes. That's good. What else? Which are? Correct. Absolutely. Absolutely correct. All right. How many wings?
4.
4. Okay. How many antennae?
2.
Basic setup on a bee, as it's an insect. 3 body parts, 6 legs. That classification holds steady and through. It's not that hard to do with that aspect. Let's go for a little bit more fun. Okay. Our organization is basically a club for beekeepers. We work with commercial and hobbyist beekeepers in Palm Beach County. We have actually gone all over the state doing outreach programs. I've even gone outside of the state to do it. I enjoy it. I actually have a lot of fun with it. I hope I get to answer you guys' questions. We educate the public on bees and beekeeping. We discuss issues with Africanized, killer bees. We're going to discuss some of those issues here. You guys are not in kindergarten. You're going to need to be aware of it. We have members that do bee removals. I'm one of them. Note the crazy guy removing the beehive. This is underneath the floorboard of a tool shed. You can see all the comb right there. Note the insane individual is not wearing a veil or any protection, and he's not getting stomach whipped. That insane individual is me. If you handle hives correctly, they're not going to turn you into Cabbage Patch dogs. Okay? If you handle them badly, they will sting you, you will swell up, and your photos will look very funny and we will laugh at you. Recognize this guy?
Yeah.
Who is he? Barry B. Benson. What movie? Not bad. I do this with the kindergartners, so I'll have a little bit of fun here. Why is this not a real bee? It talks. Hey, bees talk. They don't speak English. What else? Has 4 legs. These have 6. Yes.
We're the same.
All right. I'll give you guys one good one. One of the I think the 3rd graders nailed this right off the bat. Guys are different. That's not the main thing I'm looking for.
Honeybees are girls.
Honeybees are girls. Absolutely correct. 99% of the population within a hive is female. The women do all the work. They do all the cooking, all the cleaning, everything.
In the hive.
Oh, okay. Listen, if they deck you outside of this classroom because of your sexist attitudes, I'm not going to defend you.
Yeah! It's a bad idea when grades haven't come out.
Yeah.
The teacher is a girl.
Oh, yeah. Okay, basic notes here. This is this cute little diagram that we use for coloring on bees and going over some of the body parts. Head, thorax, abdomen. Standard 3 body parts. It says something about the stinger, though. Remember that sexist comment? What's the thing about the stinger? All right, we're going to jump in advance here. What are the 3 types of bees in a hive for a honeybee hive? Worker, bee. And I'm sorry, you lose the box of rice from the San Francisco tree. Our next contestant is 3 types of bees on. Baby maker. And what? Yes. Correct. Absolutely correct. The man gets the grand prize. Absolutely. Sorry, I don't have a card for you. But those are the 3 types. What are the males called? Drones. Absolutely correct. The male bees are the drones. Guess what the male bees don't have? Correct. Bees live in homes called hives. Beehive in a tree, about 40,000 bees in this hive. Average number of bees in a hive, depending on the type of feeder, 50 to 80,000. When the news media comes out with a story, there were 2 million bees in the hive, guess what? They're lying. Hives never, ever get above 120,000, ever. Really. I mean, you might get 120,001, but that's it. They don't get above that number. The queen cannot sustain that kind of count. But the media will lie to you and they'll tell you there were 2 million stinging insects in that hive. Guess what? Ain't true. Bees build wax by squeezing their abdomens really hard. They have slits in their abdomen. The wax comes out. The bees come along, straight it, and that's what they use to make the comb. What is the shape of the comb cells? Do you agree with him? Do you agree with him? How many think hexagon is right? Raise your hand. Don't be shy. Come on. Raise your hand. All right. What if I told you he was wrong? No, it's not an octagon. No, it's not a hexagon. It's a circle. Why is it a circle? All right. Let me do this. Let me do this real quick with you guys, and you'll forgive me if I tear this apart. What is this? Roll paper towel. It is what shape from this direction? Circle. Cylinder. That's fine. Okay. However, what's nice about it? It's squishy. It's soft. If I beat her over the head with it, am I really hurting her? Am I damaging any vital organs? Maybe. Okay. What happens if I take a bunch of circles and lay them in rows, including stacked on top of one another? What shape, this is geometry, people, what shape forms in the spaces between the circles? Hexagon. That's how the bees make the hexagon. They make circles and lay them in rows in a staggered situation. And because the wax is soft, you end up with hexagons. That's how that happens. It is structurally incredibly strong. Beehives, for tensile strength, are very, very strong. However, if you take a piece of beeswax that's fresh, that's been hanging down, and you flip it over, it will bend and break. If it's young comb. If it's old comb, it will stay pretty rigid. But young comb is soft and pliable. So older comb gets stiffer. It's also darker. Older comb turns brown, reddish in color. Young comb is white or yellowish in color. Honeybees are good for you, but stings, they make honey. We are beyond the second grade level here. Honeybees make honey. Okay? Humans take the honey from the hive and eat it. It's that simple. We are thieves. They make beeswax. What are some of the uses for beeswax? Lip balm. You said candles. Okay, let's make note of something here. Lip balm is the common answer. Let me break this to you females out there. 90% of all makeup products, from lipstick to lip balm to foundation to eyeliner to mascara, contain beeswax. Almost all shampoos and conditioners, even those not listed as honey flavored, contain some portion of beeswax. It is a stabilizing element. It's also used to make candles. Does it taste good? Yes. Actually, in certain circumstances it does. We will take honeycomb and cut it in strips, put it in jars, and sell it to people, and you take it out and you chew it like bubble gum. This is a lot of beeswax. Melt it down so that you can see it. Go ahead and pass that around.
Pure beeswax donation.
Beeswax is also used as an industrial lubricant. If you play a string instrument like a violin or a cello, you are familiar with beeswax. If you do archery on any level, you are familiar with beeswax. They are responsible for 1/3 of everything we eat. Now, I'll hear occasionally, all I eat is steak. Well, yeah, but the cows have to eat something too, and guess what? The stuff the cows eat comes from pollinated substances also. Yes? Absolutely. How do bees make honey? This is going to be fun. How many stomachs do you have?
One.
I have seen a couple of students on this campus. I would question that on.
What?
They fly from flower to flower and they gather nectar. Bee Kool-Aid. Plants produce nectar to attract insects, mainly bees. Be it bumblebees or whatever, but they do it to attract pollinators. They have two stomachs. They store the nectar in a second stomach. 1, 2. Chamber separation. Lots of enzymes in that honey stomach. They fly back to the hive with it. And then, through a process we fancy call regurgitation, they basically throw it back up into a cell. So basically, honey is bee bark. Right there, that's a pretty nice looking bee bark right there. This is not the same thing as what happens to you when you get sick with the flu. The process may seem similar, but it's not quite the same. What? No, that's not honey. What about bees? Bees fly 15 miles an hour, pretty fast. For those on crutches, that would be faster than you can move. Okay? I want to go over something here on the lifestyle of the hive here real quick. And it's a little bit cruel, and I'm going to pick on someone here who probably doesn't deserve it, but I'm going to do it anyway because I mean it. If all of us here make up the hive, and we are all the workers in the hive, we dictate the circumstances under which everyone lives. We don't accept defects. Okay? So, what's going to happen to the bee that's injured?
They're going to be stumbled. Okay. I think we would just wake up and just grab the hive. Right.
We won't rip the wings off, the workers will. Workers will simply sting it and kill it to death and kick it out of the hive. So injured bees are gone bees because they are a drain on resources. You are not contributing enough to the hive because of your injury. They will simply kick you out. Now, here's the funny thing. This is an environment that applies under certain circumstances. The queen can be injured, but if she is still capable of laying eggs, they will leave her alone. I have a queen that has a bum back leg, drags the leg. She is 3 years old. She has been that way since I've seen her. Okay? But she still lays eggs, and they don't have a problem with her because the eggs are good. So if she can do her job, they're not going to get rid of her. You, on the other hand, you're out. You're dead meat.
On the rat. Oh.
We talked about this. 3 types of honeybees in a hive: workers, drones, and a queen. Okay. Workers do all the work. That's an appropriate name. Workers are females, sterile females. Now, that means they don't lay eggs because they have a queen that does it for them. Workers, girls, only live about 45 days. They literally work themselves to death. If your mom comes up to you and says, "You are killing me by leaving your mess around," she may not be lying. Okay? In a hive, she's absolutely telling the truth. Drones are the male bees. Let's hear it for the male bees. Big sexist here. Okay, good. Keep it up, boy. I was waiting for that. Yeah, okay, good. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Drone bees, we live longer. We live about a year. Word, yes. Let's talk about the drone bees. We don't work. We don't contribute anything to the hive. And we are so incompetent, we can't even feed ourselves. Wait a minute. What's this mean? The male bees do not have the equipment to gather food items and or consume them without assistance from the worker. The worker literally has to go up and spit food at them in order for the male bees to eat. Well, wait a minute. It gets even better. This is the equivalent of you going home from your day at school, lounging up on the couch, and going, "Mom, I just got home from school. I'm tired. Fix me a sandwich and turn on the TV." I think some of you have done this before. I noticed everybody got real quiet. Yeah, okay, you're milking that injury for all it's worth, huh? Yeah. Okay.
So basically, we just stand right back.
Basically, they die when they mate with the queen. She rips their guts out. Now wait a minute. We gotta talk a little bit about this. Because the drone bee's sole purpose is to live to mate. However, in the act of doing so, he kills himself. Because she rips off his sex organ and takes it with her. You, as a male, are slowly going to bleed to death, looking at the gap down below, going, "What happened?" Really happy, but something's missing. Now, wait a minute. It gets even better because she's not going to do it just to you. She's going to do it to you and about 40 of your friends.
That is seriously big.
Now, wait a minute. It only happens once. She only gets to do it one time. After that, she goes into the hive and she has to lay 2,000 to 3,000 eggs a day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
That's all she does.
That's all. The queen will live about 5 years. That's what you'll get out of it. You'll get about 5 years, a little bit longer, a little bit less. So, yes. How do they choose a new queen? Excellent question. Let me go over this. If they don't like the queen, or the queen dies, or there is a problem with the queen, they will take one of the worker larvae and do nothing but feed it royal jelly, bee spit. It's a white substance, okay? It tastes nasty, and cosmetic industries use it as an anti-aging gimmick for everything they're selling over the counter nowadays.
Wow.
But it's basically bee spit. And they spit this onto the larva. The larva eats nothing but royal jelly, and then you have a structural change in the DNA to allow for a fertile female. Yes?
Is it true if the queen dies and the workers the worker bees are hormones put in, they can mate?
No. Here's what's going to happen. If the queen dies and they cannot make another queen cell out of larvae, the hive is doomed to die. Without a queen laying, there is no hope for the hive. If they cannot make another queen cell, get it mated, and get another queen laying eggs within a month and a half, the hive is doomed. What will then happen is there's no queen giving off a pheromone saying, "Hey, I'm here laying eggs." Remember, the workers are sterile, only as long as there is a queen, because she gives off a pheromone. What happens though is workers can't go on mating flights. It's too late. They're too far old. They're too old. So what happens is they lay eggs that have no fertilization to them. What they make are drones. You will end up with a hive that produces nothing but drones, and they die out. And that's exactly what happens. We call it a lame worker situation. Yes?
Do you know if there's a bee?
Yes, there is. I will in a little bit. Queen bee, right there. Big one, right up there. Gold abdomen. Mine still has a striped abdomen. Cool. The big guy up here in the upper right, the big bug eye. Male bee, drone. Drones have huge eyes. They all have 5 eyes, but the drone eye compound is much larger. Bees, however, don't have a good public relations firm. Matter of fact, you're looking at the Palm Beach County public relations firm for bees and most of South Florida. I'm it. That's it. That's me. Bees sting. My problem as the rep for bees. They sting. I got stung. I dropped a hive once and got over 400 stings. But if you were in your house and I dropped you while you were in your house, you probably wouldn't like it either. So bees sting. This is my problem. How do I deal with that? Then we've got Africanized bees. They sting a lot. Killer bees, as they're sometimes called. Another problem being the public relations rep for bees. The media in Florida believes the only bees left in Florida are killer bees. Ah, please, 6 o'clock news story. Everybody's going to die. Guess what? It's not true. Sorry, you're going to live. This is me doing a cutout. Note that my face is 6 inches away from the comb. I'm not getting stung up to death. I put my veil on because what happened is I had a bee that kept crawling and buzzing in my ear and I just got sick of the sound. But other than that, very nice hive. Africanized bees, aka killer bees, bees with attitude problem, are not more venomous than normal European honeybees, despite what everyone will tell you. They are a bit more defensive of their nests. So, if you decide to be a complete moron and go up to a hive and start hitting it with a baseball bat, and it's Africanized, instead of sending a few hundred bees to after you to defend itself, it's going to send a few thousand. So now, let's go after the issues. They do attack in larger numbers. In the United States, there have been 18 deaths from Africanized honeybees. The last one took place here in Florida in Okeechobee. How many stings does it take to kill the average human being? Wrong, too high.
I know. 121. I mean, 120,001.
107,000.
Lower. Lower.
It depends if you're allergic.
Little lower. 1,000. Absolutely correct. The average number of stings to kill the healthy adult is around 1,000. Now wait a minute. That doesn't mean everyone's going to die the moment they get 1,000 stings. I've seen people get 3,000 stings and survive. Health factors, immunology, and things are what help set up that number. And it can vary from person to person, but the average number is around 1,000 stings. For women, it's a little bit less. For men, it's a little bit more. Again, depending on health factors. All right? Last death we had here, what took place in Okeechobee City, was a gentleman named Robert Davis. Robert only took 100 stings and died. What was Robert's problem? He was allergic. Absolutely correct. How many stings are fatal if you are allergic to bees?
1.
1. Absolutely correct. If you are allergic to bees, 1 sting can be fatal. Okay? Less than 1% of this population in the U.S. is allergic to bees. Everyone will tell you, oh my God, I'm allergic to bees. It stung me, I swelled up, and I look like a Cabbage Patch doll. You're not allergic to bees. That's a normal reaction. 18 deaths in 20 years. Wait a minute. That's not that many. In Florida, in the past 10 years, there have been 74 deaths due to lightning strikes. So your chances of getting struck by lightning are better But which one will make the 6 o'clock news? The bees. Africanized bees are here to stay. They aren't leaving. They are better adapted to this climate. They are a stronger bee. Biologically, they are better, faster. They aren't going anyplace. They are here. Let's talk about some basics here. What to do if you are attacked by Africanized honeybees? Now, I explain this a little bit differently to the K through 2 classes and the younger classes. If it's one bee and it's bothering you, you can stand still until it's done bothering you. If it's one, if you are attacked by an Africanized beehive or a European hive that you've managed to upset because you sat there and threw rocks at it, what should you do? Run! Don't stand there. I'm going to stand still and the bees won't see me. No, they see you. They know you're there. Get out! And I explain this, and I do this because people miss an obvious clue. When you run away from the nest, not toward it. Okay? Please, a little common sense says go the opposite direction.
You can actually do that.
Not everyone out there is as bright as you are. We're going to discuss some of the right people in a little bit, okay? Run away. Get into your car if you have one or you're near one and close the windows and turn on the AC. And we're going to discuss that in just a second. Get into your house if you're not in the car. Close the door behind you, please. Go into the shower and take a cold shower. Does anybody notice a theme between cold AC and cold shower?
Cold.
Cold does not stop the swelling. No, it will not kill them.
It will.
Bees are insects, but they are cold-blooded. The surrounding environment of temperature affects their body temperature. Now, here's another thing. If they're in a cold area and they're wet, how likely are they to be flying? Okay, so in the car, you close the door, you close the window, you turn on the AC, there are still about 200 to 300 very angry bees in there with you. They are probably still waylaying on you while the AC is working to crank itself down. Why are you better dealing with that type of a situation than opening the car door or the window? Why? What's waiting for you outside is several thousand bees who are sitting there patiently waiting for you to open the door or the window. Don't do it. The bees inside may not be pleasant to deal with, but you have a modicum of control over the situation. If you are in your house, don't go back out. Stay inside. Yes, you do not feel good. Yes, the stinging sucks. It's not pleasant. I feel awful, and I'm swelling up, and I'm itchy, and I'm scratchy, and I hurt, and I want my mommy. And guess what? You're a lot better in that situation than you are if you go back outside. Because outside, the bees don't care about your mom. Do not go into a pool or lake. Why would this be a bad idea when I mentioned water? Why? Go, come on, tell me. Because you need air to breathe. They will stand over the surface of the water for 20 minutes. You got 3, maybe. Bees will use carbon dioxide as a targeting mechanism. So the first thing you do when you break the surface is breathe. You breathe, and where are the bees going to sting you? On your nose and your face and your lips, and you will end up with lips like Angelina Jolie, and you won't like it. And you won't get Brad Pitt, nor any movie roles, and the 6 o'clock news will put up pictures of you, and we will laugh. Yes?
Should you have like a snorkel or something? Should they go down there?
They will go after a carbon dioxide source, yes. Do not go into the pool or lake. This is a bad idea. Yeah, sure. Yes, just use the shoe here and try to run it. Honeybees, however, despite this bad rap, do awesome things for you. Honeybees pollinate lots of flowers, herbs, fruits, and vegetables you like. Broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, chocolate. cannot emphasize this point enough. Chocolate is a nut. The tree that produces the nut that we grind into chocolate is completely dependent upon bees for pollination. Without bees, there is no chocolate. If you like chocolate, you like bees.
So we can basically like bees.
No, bees help produce the nuts through pollination. A healthy hive can prevent Africanized bees from moving in. Okay, human beings Human beings tend to keep bees in boxes like this, and you will note that we often stack those boxes next to each other. That's the human way of keeping bees. Mother Nature, not so much. In nature, in open wooded areas and open areas, bees will keep at least a couple of 100 yards between them if they can, because they don't want to interbreed with each other, and they are territorial. We as humans violate that, but we get a lot of honey that way. I think I hit the wrong button. Give me a second here. All right. Okay, here we go. Talk about this, talk about that, Ryan, get your car, get to the house. Okay. Here we go. Yay. Okay, if you keep those darn kids off your lawn, I have an 80-pound black lab. I let him out. The kids cross through my yard. They pet the dog, nice doggy. They run through my flowers. They climb over everything and destroy my yard. And my dog sits there and goes, pet me, pet me, pet me, pet me. So my big guard dog is not so effective. I put one beehive in my yard, and the kids walk along the fence line outside and don't go through my yard anymore. Nobody robs my house. Problems for the honeybee, health issues. This is serious stuff amongst beekeepers. Item number 1, the news media runs all over this. CCD, colony collapse disorder. Amongst commercial beekeepers, this is a huge issue. A hive over a couple of weeks dwindles down to a non-sustainable state. There are no bees in the hive because the older bees have gone out to forage and don't come back. We don't know what's causing it. We don't know how to deal with it yet, and we're still researching what the cause of it is. Here's the problem. This amongst commercial beekeepers is a problem because farmers hire beekeepers to put their hives out on their farms to produce the fruits, the nuts, and vegetables we eat. When there are no bees working those fields, there are no fruits, nuts, and vegetables. The price of food goes up. This is already happening now. Wax moth. These guys, they get into a hive, lay their little eggs, and the larvae chews through the comb and the honey, and they leave a silk thing behind, and it destroys hives. It's a nasty mess when wax moths move in. It's not a lot of fun. Small hive beetles. Now, here's the issue. They're about the size of a pencil eraser. 1, 2, not a problem. You get a couple of hundred of them, what happens is they come in, and they poop all over the place. And they slime up the hive, and the bees abscond. Destroys the hive. Mites. This one's big. 2 types, varroa and tracheal mites. Varroa mites are like ticks. They get on the bee, and they suck the fluids out, bee dies. And they usually get into the larva, and they destroy the larval bees. That's the problem. Tracheal mites get into the bee's trachea, the bee suffocates. Between those 2 items right there, in the 80s, we destroyed half the beekeeping industry. It still has not recovered from the issue with mites. Ignorance, the biggest problem I've got, and everyone's inherent fear of bees because they sting. Oh my God, the bees are going to kill me and I will die. Guess what? It's not true. However, that inherent fear, as we mentioned before, makes people stupid. And in Florida, we have lots of stupid. We have an abundance of stupid. It goes around. Here we go, Cape Coral, Florida. We're going to talk a little bit about chemistry, guys, because it's fun. Handling bees. He has bees. in the wall of his trailer. He wants to get rid of the bees. So he takes a fogger. He sets off the fogger in his trailer. The fogger gives off chemicals that kill bees. There's also one other thing to note about these chemicals. They are extremely flammable. You require at least 4 hours before you go back into a place where you have set off a fogger to allow the chemicals to dissipate. Some people don't realize that. It's on the jar, it's on the can in big letters. Minimum 4 hours. Well, he didn't feel that this was killing the bees fast enough. So he took a can of WD-40 and a lighter and made a homemade flamethrower. Now, let me ask you a question. What happens if you take a box and you fill it with explosive chemicals and you put a match into the middle of it? What do you have? You have a bomb. So he took this trailer, which was full of explosive pesticide chemicals, and his homemade flamethrower, and went like this and blew up his trailer. You can see this on Mythbusters if you don't believe it.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Okay? Now, let me go one more for you. The bees didn't die. They absconded. He blew the wall over, knocked the nest over, and the bees said, "Screw it, I'm out of here," and left. That's it. They're gone. What should you do if you find a beehive? Nothing. Leave it alone. Brilliant. Give that girl. Enjoy your new friends if you can. If they don't pose a problem, leave them alone. If you have to, you can call a licensed pest control operator and he will come out and kill the bees. Or you can contact somebody at the Palm Beach County Beekeepers Association. We have members that do removals. And we will come out and we will give them a good home. I will work out a lease agreement with the bees. They get to live on my farm, make me honey, and I give them a happy place to live, and they're not near a wall, which makes many people happy. Now, I want to go over one other thing with you real quick, and this is where we're going to get real advanced. Last year, I did a thing on National Pollination Day. The association will be doing another thing. We went over and discussed a lot about the bees, particularly in Florida. Pollination is a huge issue here, and it's important to Florida, and it's important to the rest of the world because we feed the rest of the world. Common bees of South Florida. You see 5 types up there: honeybees, mason bees, sweat bees, carpenter bees. Okay? I'm going to show you in just a bit. But these are basically what you will see out there on your plants. Pollination in natural habitats. Bees help produce the next generation of plants. Without it, nature has a problem. Now, I had someone else work with me on this video, and I have to make a small correction. Bees help produce a lot of things. One of the things they do not help produce is tomatoes. Even though they're in the picture, bees do not pollinate tomato plants. At least honeybees don't. Bumblebees do, but honeybees do not. So it's kind of in there, but kind of out. Bumblebees work with tomato plants, honeybees do not. And that works both ways. There are plants honeybees work that bumblebees won't.
Why don't they?
The structure of the flower is different. They don't like the nectar. Mother Nature at its finest. There are honeybees. There are bumblebees. There are carpenter bees. There are sweat bees, which are the green ones, and there are digger bees. Okay? Of them, only the honeybee and the bumblebee are colony-type bee. The rest are solitary. And the bumblebee's colonies never gets really above 50. Honeybee colony, 50,000. Those are honeybees. Honeybees. Honeybees are not native to the U.S. We brought them in. The Indians used to refer to them as white man's flies. And they sting. Okay? They are, however, the most important pollinator we have. Okay? Bumblebee. They work really well for people who work in greenhouses because bumblebees will only cover a few hundred square yards. Honeybees will cover up to 2 miles to pollinate and gather food. Bumblebees restrict themselves to a few hundred acres. So in a greenhouse, people will keep bumblebees. However, there are some people who like bumblebees for their apple orchards more than they like honeybees. Carpenter bees. They often look like bumblebees, but they're not quite, and they are a solitary bee. Yeah, they're very bushy. Okay. Honeybees, bumblebees sting, carpenter bees, and mason bees bite. They have mandibles.
I think I got bit.
Sweat bees.
Oh, that's the two things I look like that family.
Yep. Sweat bees, they're solitary, green, pretty cool. Digger bees live in the ground. They dig holes in the ground. Mason bees and carpenter bees will drill holes in wood. I'm sorry? It looks like a wasp, but it's not. It's a bee. It looks like bees, wasps, hornets, termites, ants all share a common ancestor. They all look like each other. They're all insects. They're parts. Yes?
Do they call the digger bees mud bees?
Yes. Yes.
Same thing?
Same thing. What do native bees need? Native bees need flowers and nectar, pollen, nesting habitat, and a pesticide-free environment. Guess what we don't have? Correct. Flowering resources. They need nectar, they need oils. People, if you grow plants that are good for butterflies, you're growing plants that are going to attract bees also. Nesting resources. Bees nest. Some of these digger bees nest in soil. Bumblebees do it in burrows. Mason and carpenter bees do it in wood. Access to clean water. Now, I have to specify something here. Access to clean water means water that is free of contaminants that are unhealthy. If you put a pot of clean, crystal clear water right next to it, and you put a pot of mud next to it, that's just good mud, and it's wet mud, the bees are going to go for the wet mud before they will go for the clear water, because that's the type of water they like. Clear water does not necessarily mean you can see through it. It just means it doesn't have 20,000 chemicals in it. Provide plants that bees like. Provide sources for them to be able to nest. Provide sources for them to be able to eat. Now here's another fun one. This quote is often attributed to Albert Einstein. It says if bees disappeared off the surface of the earth, you'd have 4 or 5 years left before man disappeared. Guess what? He never said it. I say it's cute, I like it, but he never said it. Never said it. However, the point of it is that bees are extremely important to our day-to-day living, even if we don't keep bees ourselves. All right, guys, I have bored you enough with presentations. I want to be able to answer questions and go over stuff with you. So if you've got them, throw them at me. Yes? A bumblebee colony can be up to 50 or so, but that's usually about it. That's it. Yes, and they can sting you over and over again. No, they don't lose their stingers. Bumblebees do not lose their stingers. Honeybees lose their stingers. Question? Yes? Oh, how can you tell the difference? Very simply, size. Size. Bumblebees are much larger. They're extremely furry. They're usually, they're the big fat ones. They fly. When a bumblebee is worried about you, it flies in front of your face and doesn't move. If you move your head this way, it follows you. It does the eye contact with you, and it doesn't blink, so you will lose. But it will sit there if you've upset it and just follow you around. Yes? Yeah, my queen has stripes in there. That one has stripes. They usually show the queen with the golden abdomen. She's a little bit larger than the worker. She may be a lot larger than the worker in some cases. She may be larger than the drones in some cases, but drones can be larger. Yeah. Yeah, the queen I have in there is not absolutely huge, but she's a good queen. She's a very good queen. I've got some, that, like that big, So they vary in size, they vary in color. Everyone likes the ones with the gold abdomens and stuff. I like mine that are striped. Yes?
Can I see that?
We're going to in just a bit. Yes? How do I find another queen? When they lose a queen or something like that, if they're unhappy with her, they'll kill her, kick her out of the hive, and then they will spit royal jelly into the larval cell and make sure that that gets nothing but royal jelly. That changes the DNA structure to make a queen. Yes?
You say they spit out one certain larva or?
They'll spit into several. They'll spit into several.
So what happens if, let's say, in some weird case, 6 of them, 7?
If you get 2, they'll fight each other to the death until one's left.
Wow. What if there were 6?
I would like to see that.
They fight each other to the death. I'll bet you this way, if a queen hatches out of a queen cell early enough and gets strong early enough, she will go tear the other queen cells apart. I've literally watched them just chew through it and tear everything apart. They will destroy queen cells if they are not needed. All right. What I want to do, guys, with you is give you guys a chance to come up and check out the beehive stuff. So let's get everybody to line up back over there toward the door, start toward the microwave.